Today is Wednesday, Parashat Shemini. The Mussar for today in Chok Israel speaks about, amongst other subjects, the subject of Chilul Hashem. Chilul Hashem translates in English as the desecration of God's name. What does it mean? It means that if a person acts in a way that would bring dishonor to Hashem, to God, being Jewish, being recognized as a Jewish person, or being recognized as a Torah scholar, or being recognized and known as somebody who represents Judaism, if a person acts in an improper way, it brings a bad reputation to Judaism, a bad reputation to, in a way, so to speak, to Hashem. And that's a very grave sin. And that Chilul Hashem could take many different forms. Depends also who the person is, what is his stature, how he's recognized by people. And the Mussar brings some examples. So it says here, what is considered to be the desecration of God's name, Chilul Hashem? Rav said, Rav was a very important rabbi, he said, I, for example, Ishakilna basra velahivna demele altar. If I were to buy meat and not pay immediately, say he goes to the butcher, Rav says, if I went to the butcher and bought some meat and I didn't pay right away, but I rather dragged my payment and paid much later, or even not so much later, paid later when the store owner expected the payment right away, that would be something that would be a reflection not just on me, but since Rav was such an important rabbi, it would be a reflection on the religion, on Judaism, and would be a bad reputation, so to speak, not just for him, but also since he represents the word of Hashem, it will be considered to be desecration of God's name. Rabbi Yochanan said, Rabbi Yochanan gives another example. I, for example, if I were to walk 4 steps without Torah and Tefillin, because he was ill, but people who saw him did not know that he was ill, and they would learn from him to be lax about Torah and about Tefillin. Let's say if Rabbi Yochanan walks without talking Torah, without wearing Tefillin, it was a time where people wore Tefillin all day long. Then people will become lax. So it will be, in a way, he would cause, indirectly, he would cause other people not to observe Torah and other people to be disrespectful. And it would be a desecration of God's name if he was seen that way, if people would not know that he was ill, and that's why he could not put on tefillin or speak words of Torah at that moment. Rabbi Nainai brings another example. If a person, he gives a rule, if a person did anything which causes his friends to be embarrassed, to be seen talking with him, they don't want to be seen in his company, that would be an act that would give him a bad reputation. That would be an act that's considered to be a desecration of God's name. So, I would say, even such a simple thing, you're wearing a kippah, you're obviously recognized as a Jew, you jaywalk. If you do jaywalking, cross in the middle of the street, people driving the car say, look at these people. They don't respect the laws of the land. That would be also Chilul Hashem. So we have to be very careful, because it's as if each of us has a business card that says Hashem's agent in this world. We're the chosen people. Hashem chose us as his chosen people. We sort of represent him in this world. And any act that would create a bad reputation for us is, in a way, a bad reputation for God's company, so to speak, in this world. And that's why that would be called Chilul Hashem, desecration of the name of Hashem. But if we act the other way, in a very proper way, etc., then it can bring honor to Hashem. So like here the Mussar finishes and says, Abaye said that the name of God should be beloved because of you. That's why the person should learn Torah, Mishnah. A person's dealings in business should be honest, and he should speak gently with others. And if he speaks that way, then he'll be people will say, wow, look at this person. He's an observant Jew. Look how he relates with others, always honestly, always kindly, a person who acts properly, and he learns Torah, he does his business dealings in honestly. So all these good qualities will bring honor to Hashem. And the opposite, Hashem Yatzinu, heaven forbid, if a person acts in a way that is improper, it would bring dishonor the other way. So we have to be very careful with this idea of Chilul Hashem. It's considered to be one of the gravest of sins. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.